I think what's happened now, folks, is the deafening silence of Monday that I talked about at the beginning of the week has been replaced by more discussion and comment now, but it kind of divides into different categories of comment. I mean, first of all, there's those who want to play things down. I'll refer to one of those in a moment. And then there are those who want to comment but don't seem to have anything much to say. And then there are those who are sort of trying their best. And finally, those who've just given up and sort of declared defeat. In category one, play it down, we've got the chair of the Police Services Board, and this is the part in particular, the chief has nothing to do with this. These are my comments. But he said yesterday, there's no crisis. There's no crisis. And I'm not saying these 4 incidents involve by themselves a crisis, but certainly if you look at the longer-term situation where this keeps going on, these are 4 young boys gunned down. I think 3 of them happened in the city of Toronto, 1 in Peel. But that's sure something. And what did he do? The chair of the Police Services Board, his name is Dr. Alok Mukherjee, he struck a task force. I think it may be the 914th task force we've had on this over the years. And he missed a chance, frankly, to show real leadership. Those who have little to say, well, I'll count the provincial minister in that, the new one. In fairness, she's brand new to the job. It was her first question ever in the legislature as a minister. I was there to see it today. And she kind of said, well, we're, working on things and so on and so on. Job one for her, take the Alvin Curling Roy McMurtry report and just implement it. It was written a couple of years ago. And we've never put somebody in charge and said, you know what? You have almost dictatorial powers here to bring these people together at the table and say, this is how it's going to be. And we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done efficiently, and we're going to get it done quickly because there's an urgency to this. And it never happens. You've got the patchwork quilt. And the patchwork quilt produces some good results, but not as good as it could be for the money that we spend. And I think it's urgent enough. We need to get on with doing that and putting somebody in charge. As I say, I don't mean by dictatorial powers. I don't really mean that, but you know what I mean. Somebody who's got a firm hand, has the premier's backing, the prime minister's backing, the police chief's backing, the mayor's backing to say, let's get on with it here so we can measure some results instead of each time lurching into action when somebody else is shot. But I tell you what, what's not working now is the status quo at Jane Finch with that terrible housing, very few recreational facilities, an uncoordinated approach as between the police and the social workers and the teachers and everybody else. They're all trying their best, but nobody's really bringing them all together. And we end up with what we've got, which is a situation that is not a complete disaster, but it is a problem. Obviously, it's a problem. I mean, the number of shootings up there this year alone in that part of the city, the northwest corner, is a real problem. I mean, I'm not sure whether it's to be called a crisis or not, but to me, when boys are getting killed in the sidewalk, standing amongst a group of their friends, that's a crisis, even if there's only one. So this stuff gets me really going because you know what? We're not doing all that we can, folks. We're not. And a lot of us consider it somebody else's problem. It's their problem. Let's be candid. It's the poor people's problem who live in Jane Finch. It's the black community's problem. It's our problem. And we got to deal with it because it's just going to go on and on and on. And you say, well, yeah, it's 4 people out of 2.5 million. 4 too many. Way too many.